Sorry, you're a little late to the game, video people. We were just writing down our recap. We were writing down product rule, quotient rule, and power rule. We also talked how this could be for any real number, Now we're going to try to prove power chain rule, video people. Power chain rule. Okay, so we're here. What do you guys have? What did anyone, what did you get for this? Help me out. You'd have a
F prime of x.
f prime of x
F of x
times f of x
plus f of x times f prime of x.
plus f of x times f prime of x. Did anybody get that? Did anybody else get that? Did anybody else get that? Did anybody get that? Did anybody get that? Good, Zach. Zach, what are you sitting on, man? That looks really comfortable. What is that? Is that a chair? Yeah, that's sweet. I like that. I like that.
Oh, you couldn't even hear me. Yeah, it's a couch.
Oh, it's a couch. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I'd be tempted to lay down and watch class on that thing. That's Shay, how are you doing? Shay, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Parker, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah, good. So guys, now watch this move. Did you see that? Okay. So
Yeah.
Now watch this move on the board. Is this the same thing as f of x times f prime of x? Can I switch those two? Am I allowed to do that in math?
Yes.
Plus f of x times f prime of x. Okay, now let's call this, forgive me for my art. Let's call this a apple. Then this would be also a apple. Now, algebraically, an apple plus an apple is
Two apples.
Two apples. And so this would be the same thing as one apple plus another apple would be two f of x f prime of x. 2f of x f prime of x. So now let's go over here and just write that down aside. Let's write that down over here on the side. We started with this. F of x, we started with f of x squared. I took the derivative, and when the smoke cleared, I got 2f of x f prime of x. So I'm just writing this down because I'm going to have to erase this. I'm just writing this down. The derivative of f of x squared is, Mason, focus with me. The derivative of f of x squared is, help me out, Mason, here.
2 f of x times f prime of x.
Miles. The derivative of f of x squared is, you're not Miles, behind the mask. What's your name?
Christian.
Christian, the derivative of f of x squared is?
2 f of x f prime of x.
Okay, Lindsay, I can't see your face, but I'm going to ask you. Lindsay, the derivative of f of x squared is?
She's away from my desk.
No, she's there. She's probably trying to learn how to get the speaker right. Lindsay, it's okay. I'm going to Julia.
Sorry, my thing wasn't working.
Okay, Lindsay, yeah. The derivative of f of x squared is?
2f of x 1.
2f of x times f prime of x. So say that again, Lindsay. Say that again.
2f of x times f prime of x.
All right. Let's give it up for Lindsay. Come on, let's give it up. She's out there. She got her mic to work. I wish you guys could see yourself in the grid view too. I wish you could have both views, but I know you need to see this. Look how bad that looks. I'm sorry you have to see this 3 times a week. Okay. Now I've got to erase this. I'm going to erase this. This is when you need to focus. Okay, now I'm going to jump it up an exponent. So instead of f of x squared, I'm going to ask the exact same question, but with f of x cubed. Now explain f of x cubed to your little sister.
F of x times f of x times
f of x times f of x times
f of x.
f of x. This is the key part, guys. is that the same thing as f of x squared times f of x? Is
Yes.
f of x squared times f of x the same thing as f of
Yes.
x cubed?
Yes.
And that's the trick. We're gonna write this as f of x squared times f of x. How many people are following so far? How many people are with me? How many people are, okay. Now, I'm gonna do product rule again. What did I just say? I wanna make sure everybody's on. But this is going to be my first function. The f of x squared is going to be my first function, and this is going to be my second function. Now, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it instead of having you guys do it right now, because I want to make sure you get the right thing in your notes. So this would be like the derivative of f of x squared times f of x. Now, what's the connection sign in product rule? What's the connection sign? Plus f of x squared times the derivative of f of x, which would just be f prime of x. How many people are with me? How many people are still going down the slope on this black diamond? How many people? Nick, are you with me? Nicholas, are you with me? Okay. Now this is what I ask Lindsay. I'm like, Lindsay and Mason, what's the derivative of f of x squared?
2 f of x times f prime of x.
So we're going to use that now. We're going to use that now with this guy. We're going to use that with this guy. Replace this guy, and the next line down, replace the derivative of f of x squared with this thing on the right. So you guys do that at your seats. You guys do that at the seats. You guys... Get out of the way.
Sorry.
We're replacing it with what?
You're replacing this derivative, sorry, what's your name again?
James.
James, we're replacing this derivative with this,
Oh.
with that, since it's the same. Okay, you know what's your name here again?
Lorelai,
Lorelai, what do you have?
I've got 2 f of x, f prime of x times f of x plus.
Okay, we'll just stop there, Lorelai, we'll get, let everybody there. Lorelai said this is the same thing as 2f of x times f prime of x, and then times this f of x.
Plus f of x squared plus, times f prime of x.
Yeah, and this guy hasn't changed. This guy hasn't changed. That one hasn't changed. So I'll read it again for everybody at home. This is 2 f of x f prime of x times f of x plus f of x squared times f prime of x. How many people got that? How many people got that? Okay. Now we're one up here. Now look here. I got f of x times f of x. F of x times f of x is this f of x times that f of x would be a f of x squared. This f of x times that f of x would be an f of x squared. And so that's when I would have this 2 f of x times f of x, which is f of x squared, times f prime of x, plus the term I haven't done anything with, f of x squared times f prime of x. Okay, give me a piece of fruit other than an apple. Give me a piece of fruit other than an apple. A what?
Banana.
A grape?
A grape? Okay, do a grape, that was better.
Grapes, okay.
There's just a circle top.
So, let me see here. So here, I've got a bunch of grapes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I've got a bunch of grapes. In fact, I've got 2 bunches. I got 2 f of x squared f prime of x.
That's a lot of grapes.
And over here I have
One bunch of grapes. grapes.
One bunch of grapes, because this is the same as that.
Correct.
This is the same as that. So this would be another bunch of grapes. Algebraically, 2 bunches of grapes plus 1 bunch of grapes is
3 bunches of grapes.
3 bunches of grapes.
You're rich.
So using that idea, this would be equal to 3 what? Using that idea, that would be equal to 3 what?
F of x squared times f prime of x.
F of x squared times f prime of x. Now guys, look here, look here. How many people, I started here, hopefully there's no, like Dr. Warren, I own that, except for the people at home who have cataracts and can't read it. How many people understood the logic from going to here to here? How many people understood that logic? How many people understood that logic? Jonathan, did that make sense to you going from there to there?
Yeah, it does.
How about going from here to here? That's probably the hard part, but that we're just using that thing we just created earlier. And then we brought these 2 guys together, to get here. How many people see this is exactly the same as that? How many people see this is exactly the same as that? And then we added these together. So we found, and I'll get out of the way for you guys at home. We found the derivative of 3, we found the derivative of f of x to the 3rd as being what when it was all said and done? What when it was all said and done?
3 f of x squared f prime of x.
3f of x squared times f prime of x. Times f prime of x.
Professor Ward,
Yes.
I don't understand how you got to the step with the grapes. Like, how could you pull those things out since they're being multiplied by each other?
I'm not really, if I think about this as a grape, that's the grape there. What's your name again? Sorry.
Alex.
Alex. If I think about that, Alex, this is a great question because other people have the same question. This is like the grapes. Let's circle this.
I mean, I can see that being a grape, yeah.
Okay, then, yeah, okay. Then you're better than me. Okay. Isn't this the same thing? Isn't this the same thing as that?
Yeah.
So you have two of these, then you've got 1 more of them, and so then you would have how many of them altogether?
Well, 3.
3. And
Okay.
so that's where we're getting.
Wait, no, that totally makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But trust me, Alex, you're not the only one who had that question.
Yeah, no, that makes sense completely now. I thought that you were like pulling.
No,
things
no,
out
there's
and
no-
putting
there's
them
no
back together,
algebra.
but It was so much simpler than I thought.
No, and that's the way this class is. That's the way it's always simpler once you see it. You know, and maybe instead of a grape, if I called this a TV, then this would also be a TV. And how many TVs do we got? 3. So yeah, I probably should have used TVs.
Really putting them art classes to good use, huh?
Yes, I am.
Can I ask questions?
Yes.
This might be a dumb question, but
Never.
I'm a little confused on how you got the 2f of x squared. Like, where did the second power come from?
Yes. It's right down here, Lindsay. If you look here, do you see that f of x there? And do you see that f of x there? Because this is multiplication, I can move this around, and it's when this hits that I get the square.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's this guy right here. That's this guy right here. Guys, I really want this. How many people are following okay? How many people are kind of following?
Okay is a good word.
Okay is a good word. I'm gonna do one more. Okay? And then I'm just gonna write down the rule. I'm gonna do one more. Instead of 3rd, let's go to 4. So I got to erase this, but it's okay. I put the final result over there. I know nobody heard what I said, so I could have said anything then. Okay, so I'm hoping as I do it this time, you'll begin to see the pattern. I'm hoping as we do it this time, we'll begin to see the pattern. I'm gonna have an f of x to the fourth, and again, I hate you guys can't see that line. F of x to the fourth, and I want to take the derivative of it. Now explain f of x to the fourth to your little sister. How many f of x's do we have when we multiply them? 4. Let's group 3 of them together. And if I do that, I would have f of x times f of x times f of x times f of x. But I'm going to group the first 3 together as an f of x to the third times f of x. So this is the trick. Now just think, is this f of x to the fourth? If you multiply that out, is it not the same as f of x to the fourth? And then I'm going to take the derivative of that. Okay, now what rule am I going to use? What rule am I going to use now, guys? Product rule. This is like my f, this is like my g. You're like, damn it, Dr. Warren, that's an f. I know. This is like my f, this is like my g. I know it's an f. So let's do product rule. I'm going to take the or. I'm going to keep us in the water. I'm going to keep us moving. So it would be the derivative of the first times the second. What's the connection sign, guys? What's the connection sign in this rule? Plus the first times the derivative of the second. And then see, this is where it's so good for me to see the grid. See, I would never see in my class that when I said that, nobody was looking because they're writing. Times the derivative of the second, so what would go there? What would go there? F prime of x. Now, let's fill in this guy. This guy we would have the first, which is f of x raised to the third. This guy, we would have an f of x raised to the third. Christian, do you see the derivative of f of x to the third anywhere else in the room? Christian's pointing right here. How many people at home, do you guys see that? Do you guys see that? So now, let's take this and substitute it in for that. Let's take this and substitute it in for that. And so I'll write it down, just for sake of time, replacing this, and I don't know why I think if I say it in that voice, somehow that makes it sound. If I just say it droning monotone enough, that's good teaching. Slow and monotone. I'm not going to go Mickey. I'll save you from Mickey. You're like, please, Dr. Warren, not the mouse. Anything but that damn mouse voice. Okay. This derivative is the same thing over there on the board as 3 f of x squared
times f prime of x
times f prime of x
times x, or f of x.
times this guy, which is our f of x. So that's there. And then I've got this guy who I'm not doing anything with again. This term I'm just letting be. This term I'm just scribing. Yeah, and squeaking. The mouse wants to come out.
No.
Now, Lindsay, this is the move. Lindsay, this is the move right here. If you have this f of x times f of x squared, what will you get?
F of x to the third power.
There you go. And I don't know why I think I need, yes. So everybody do that. Yes. Lainey, that's one-handed. We can go both.
I guess she's still correct.
Okay. So now we're going here. So I would have 3 f of x to the third times f prime of x. Plus the other term, just scribing, not thinking. I'm thinking about lunch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to D Hall for the first time.
Oh, you haven't been? Like,
This year, yeah, this
Oh,
year,
okay.
no. I've been to D Hall. I've got like 300 punches. I've got 300 punches for D Hall.
Deer lipstick's a lot.
You know, which is a lot, but I haven't gone once just because I'm like, I call it C Hall for COVID. I saw like C Hall for COVID instead of D Hall. It's C Hall.
Dr. Warren, after class on Friday, you should just take us all out to
There we go. There we go. I should. Okay. Now let's look. Let's not use fruit. Give me something else.
Car.
Car. Say car, huh?
A broken glass
You
bottle.
can do it. No, he's trying.
No, he's got it.
He's got it.
Oh!
Hold
It looks
the sun over
beautiful.
There we go.
What a little Mercedes-Benz thing on the top, like the little car.
And
Yeah!
there we go. So we got 3 cars. We got, what's the car? Well, it's f of x cubed plus f prime. That's the car. Plus another Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think you could fully expand this problem to help us out?
Yes. And how many Mercedes-Benz would you have altogether? How many
4.
Mercedes? 4 Mercedes-Benz.
The rich.
We are living that high life.
So yes. We're drug dealers.
Okay.
Dr. Warren, I saw this one thing, and it was like drug dealers in the past like used to have like cars and houses, and you know like through like block parties, and it's like now drug dealers don't even have like drugs, you know. Sometimes they don't even have that. Oh my God.
Yes, that's the Greek personality. Okay, all
You
right.
gotta be careful. You're
We're
going
dr-
to steal all the sword ornaments.
Yes, my brother would steal all the hood ornaments.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, Doug did. Doug
Dog.
stole So guys, help me out. What would this be equal to? What would this be equal to? Mathematically, what would this be equal to? 4
F of x cubed
4f of x cubed
times
times
f prime of x.
f prime of x.
Beautiful.
How many people are following? How many people are following? I get it's a bit much, but hopefully after some repetition we've got it. Now I'm gonna write that down over here. I'm gonna write that down over here. So we showed the derivative of f of x to the 4th was 4 f of x cubed times f prime of x. And I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to do it again. Because you guys have, one thing about our generation, see, I was really meant to be born in 2020. I'm sorry, in 2000 and not 1961. I was supposed to be born in 2000. Because I think like you guys. I have no attention span. I can commit to nothing. You know, people have to remind me 10 minutes before any meeting that I've agreed to go to. You know, so yeah, I mean, but I'm really good at extrapolating. I'm really good at taking little pieces of information and growing something out of it. If you had to guess, if we went through all the work to take the derivative of f of x to the 5th, if we went to all the work and did it, what do you think we could show that would be equal to? If you just had to guess, what do you think you would?
5
5
f
of x
of 4 times f prime of x.
Times f prime of x. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? And then if we did it again, and I'm running out of chalkboard, the derivative of f of x to the 6th, the derivative of f of x to the 6th would be
6 f of x to the 5th times f prime of x.
times f prime of x. So guys, the moral of the story is if you have f of x raised to the k. Now we didn't prove this for all k. I motivated it. The derivative of f of x raised to the k, just look at the pattern we're creating. It would be
K
k
times f of x
f of x
to
to
the
the
k minus
K
one
k minus 1
times f prime of x.
times f prime of x. Do you see why I call it power chain rule? Do you see why I call it power chain rule? You're like, Doctor, when I get the power, what's the chain? What do you mean by a chain? Like, do you have a chain and you're in a gang and you're going to go whip people with a chain? That's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. So,
We need to work on your example.
yes, no, I watch, it's Harrisonburg. What are we going to do with your spare time in Harrisonburg?
That's what happens in the spare time.
No, you watch TV. That's what you do.
Oh.
You supplement reality with Netflix, or
Yeah.
so you watch violence, not violence, action.
Right.
Okay, so yes, we call it chain because it's a chain reaction. We call it chain because it's a chain reaction. It's the derivative of the outside, which is our k, our power rule. K times f of x to the k minus 1. But there's a punishment. There's a punishment for this not being x. What did I just say? And that's where the f prime, the chain reaction part's that f prime of x coming out. Now, let's use that new rule to try to take the derivative of something that looks like this. Can you identify the k? Can you guys identify Lorelei, right?
Yeah.
Lorelei, what's the k? 5. Who's the f of x?
X squared plus 7x plus 3.
X squared plus 7x plus 3. Let's take the derivative. One option, which is the bad option, don't ever do this. I'm going to lemur on you. I'm going to lemurize. Okay. One bad option would be to expand it out and take the derivative. How many people want to blow that out and actually multiply that out 5 times? How many people want to do that? No. Let's use chain rule. It would be 5
Times x squared plus 7x plus 3 to the 4th.
to the 4th. Now before, I'm going to do this in 2 steps. You don't have to do it in 2 steps. Times x squared plus 7x plus 3 prime. It's the derivative of f of x to the 5th is 5 f of x to the 4th times the derivative. Does this derivative scare you guys? Does that derivative scare you?
No.
You're like, Dr. Warren, I own that. What's the derivative of x squared plus 7x plus 3?
2x plus 7.
So this would be 5
Oh.
x squared plus 7x plus 3 times
2x plus 7.
2x plus 7 times 2x. And you're done. You're done at that point in time. Does that seem so bad, guys?
No.
And would that function still be raised to the 4th?
Oh yeah, you missed the 4th option.
Yes.
Oh.
Henry, was that you, man?
Yeah, that's.
Thank you, Henry, for saving me. That's to the 4th. Thank you, Henry. Other people at home, I should know when people look confused around the room, like I made a mistake. Okay, now I'm gonna say you want a problem by yourself. This is actually from the homework.
Ooh.
Okay, this is from the homework. So you're actually doing a homework problem. Let's see here if I can get the right page. Okay. This is problem number 3. They give you this. Your function is x squared plus 2. I'm going to change the function to g just so it doesn't get it. X squared plus 2, and then raised to the 5th. X squared plus 2 raised to the 5th. At your seats, find g prime. Of x. Try to use our new chain rule to find the derivative of that.
Dr. Warren, what does that function say again?
Yes, sure. Zach, it's g of x is equal to x squared plus 2 raised to the 5th power.
Gotcha, thanks.
try to take the derivative of that. Okay, go to grid view at home, go to grid view at home, and you guys around the room, hold up what you have to somebody else. Show everybody what you've got for the derivative of that. Show people what you have for the derivative of that.
5 times x squared plus 2 to the 4th times 2x.
Yes.
Okay, you guys are gonna have to help me out. Who is the k? Who is the k in the rule? Who is the k?
Five.
Who's the f of x?
X squared plus 2
So it would be
Five.
5
times x squared plus 2 to the 4th times
the
2x.
derivative of x squared plus 2, which is
2x.
2x. Can I skip that intermediate step? Can I skip that intermediate step and go to there? Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's end class with this. Let's end class with this.
A proverb.
A proverb. Lorelai, you got a proverb?
I thought
Okay.
you were taking suggestions.
I like the idea, a proverb.
This is the real test.
Dr. Warren, proverbs from Dr. Warren.
Oh, that kind of problem.
Yeah, let me think. What's a proverb from Dr. Warren? Okay, here we go. The foundation of a clean house is a made bed.
Wow.
Profound.
Whoa! Whoa! And then all of you who don't make your bed, you're like, nah, that's full of crap. You're full of crap. Okay, so let's imagine that we have this. We're ending class not with that proverb. Imagine that I'm facing this beast. The square root
What is it?
of x cubed plus 5x squared plus 7x plus 3. And I was asked to take the derivative of that. What's the golden rule? What's the golden rule?
Change the 1/2 power.
Change that to a 1/2 power. So let's do that first of all. So this would be the same thing as x cubed plus 5x squared plus 7x plus 3 raised to the 1/2. Now notice, the golden rule doesn't do calculus. The golden rule hasn't taken the derivative. It's just made it easier to take the derivative. I did not justify in this class today, nor would anybody in Math 205, justify chain rule holds for fractional powers any real number, just like power rule. It holds for any power. So let's write that down again. Let's write down our rule. Let's see if you guys can remember it. I erased it. What's our rule for the derivative of f of x to the k? What is our rule, guys? What is it?
Times
K
f
times.
of x to the k minus 1
Now are we done?
No.
No. The chain reaction
times f prime of x.
times f prime of x. So let's use that. Let's use that on this. Who's the k? Who's the k? This is your f of x. So try that. We're going to end class with this. See if you can't. This is a far harder question than anything we've ever asked. Have you guys rappelled down Taylor?
No.
I mean, or not Taylor, whatever that building is.
Um,
Dorm.
I don't know.
Eagle,
which one it is.
Eagle,
No,
yeah.
I've not got to.
Okay. I always wanted to do that.
Yeah, no, it looks fun. They didn't do it last year, so and we're not doing it this year.
Yeah, gotta hate lawyers. Okay, all right, here we go, here we go. Okay, here we go. You guys help me out. It would be 1/2
Times
crap,
x
crap to the, what is 1/2 minus
Negative
1?
one.
Negative 1/2.
Negative 1/2 time,
X to the
X
third,
plus
five X squared plus seven X plus three.
am I done?
No.
No, it's like an infomercial, you skip the bonus of
3x squared.
3x squared, the derivative of that,
10x
plus 10x
Plus seven.
plus 7. How many people are understanding? How many people are understanding?
is much better than problem.
Think about how far, yeah. Think about how far we've come. Think about how far we've come in taking derivatives. It was last week we were using the limit rules, limit definition.
Yeah.
And now suddenly we've opened up just, this is a very difficult function. If I say plot it, you'd be like, no, I'm good, Dr. Warren, I'm not plotting it. And if I say find the derivative, which is so much more, you're like, okay, sure, why not? I'll take the derivative. Okay, I will see you guys on Friday. Where are we Friday, guys?
Downstairs in the basement.
Downstairs in the dungeon,
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys, thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
Thanks,
Warren.
guys.
Thank you, Dr. Warren.
You guys are great. Stay well, stay healthy. Yeah, you're right. Halloween's gonna be a disaster.
Yep.
Okay, after Halloween, don't we only have like 2 weeks? So
3 weeks. Thanks,
Yeah, something
thanks,
like that.
Christian. So James, you guys aren't training at all then, right?
We are, and we just went back to in-person PT
Okay,
this week, so we've been doing that. So,
okay.
yeah, and then, we've been doing lab. We had like an opt-in, opt-out for like in-person class or not, and so I picked in-person just because learning like all this military stuff online is not fun.
No, I can't imagine,
It's horrible.
No, I can't imagine.
But every Wednesday I have this lab for where.
You know, and most of the guys teaching there are just like, it's just like,
Oh, no, exactly.
you know, it's just like, seriously?
I have as that.
I'm meeting Shipron at Deep Signing.
See Alex, see Lorelai.
Bye, Dr. Warren.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for the proverb.
That's yes.